Hello and welcome to episode 6 of my route to Bergen City Marathon 2026, where basically I'm just documenting my journey to the Bergen City Marathon using Chatgpt as my main source of planning for the marathon training plan, but heavily inspired by the philosophy and routine of Lee Granthams. I absolutely love that guy's videos on YouTube. So, it's the closest I can get to him being my coach for now. Really enjoy the structure. Easy runs, recovery runs, day off. I use his strength and conditioning videos as well. And then specific intervals on a Wednesday, and also Pacific long run on a Sunday. So trying a first long run outside now. I've been using the treadmill recently, for basically the majority of this block so far. We're now in week 8, or ending week 8 of my marathon training block of 16. And most of the all the long runs have been on the treadmill because it's aerobic baseline that we're hitting at the moment. So now I'm going to take it out onto the paths. We always run too quick, so hopefully using the treadmill I can pull back on myself. So this one is going to be an easy run, but ChatGPT does know it's also a hilly route. So it allows for a few kind of up curves in the BPM. So I've just got to be sensible and try and maintain that. So basically what I'll do is I'll do the run, then I'll get the data into ChatGPT, follow that all on the next part of the video telling you about it, and then I'll quickly recover or tell you about the recovery run and the easy run from Friday and Saturday. So let's get this run. And the reason why I do this talk now is because it was an uphill section. I don't really want to start the run on an uphill, so now I'm on a downhill bit, and then I'm going to get steady. I'll get this run going. So we are just over 13.2k in. I'm now running to Centrum. Basically, if you get that part there, that road up there, we come down that. So now the path I'm on is the Bergen City Marathon course. So what I'm going to do now is I've got about 45 minutes left of this run. So I'm just going to follow the course for 45 minutes, which then brings in really good data for ChatGPT, so it can kind of see some of the gradient and things like that. So my heart rate at the moment crept up to 149 because I'm talking to you, but going on the uphill sections I capped it at 150. Twice I had to walk, let it get down to 140, then I went off again. So trying to keep it all disciplined. So I'll catch you guys later. So I'm back now from my Sunday long run. So just getting all the data and that lot done. Actually enjoyed sitting on the bus coming home from the long run as I ran into Centrum, the city centre of Bergen, and then I joined on the marathon course, as I say in the video, and then I was putting all my data into ChatGPT there. Most people kind of listen to the radio or their headphones or something, talk to friends or whatever. I'm talking to ChatGPT on the bus. So I got all that data done and all of that lot, and was pleasantly pleased with what he was coming back with as well. I did go 4 minutes a little bit over what I was supposed to do. The plan was 2 hours 15 minutes. Some will say what's 4 minutes over. So I did run for 2 hours 19 minutes, and that was to kind of hit a goal, really. I was kind of so close to hitting a half marathon, so I kind of just went and done a half marathon. So yeah, my Sunday long run wasn't intentional, and if I look at how my runs are on a treadmill, I certainly don't reach these distances or like the 20k mark or on the treadmill. So yes, I run that little bit quicker as I outside, and I've said that, we all run that little bit too quick outside, and that is the great thing about a treadmill. It is a constant, flat, steady pace. You put your speed on the treadmill and you just run it, and that. So yeah, it keeps you going there, but it is obviously no gradient changes or anything like that. So there's a hilly route into Centrum, and that. But luckily for me, most of it's going downhill. But there are some uphills as well, and literally 4 kilometers into the run, I end up walking because I had a cap of 155 heartbeat per minute. Because that's when it takes me up into the other zones, and maybe I won't recover, and that's so my body will kind of think I need to keep the higher effort, or the blood needs to be pumping at a higher effort than it actually does. So we cap it at 155. So I did kind of walk up this long hill. It's nearly a kilometer long, but I got kind of 400 meters in, and then I did see that it was kind of 155. So then I stopped and walked, let the heart rate come back down to 140 beats, and then run again. And then I did see it creeping up a bit. So luckily I was near the top of the hill, so it was just a very short, gentle walk again. I think, altogether, because there was one more hill at the end of the run I had to walk, and I think it kind of said that I was running or walking 1 minute 19 seconds out of 2 hours and 19 minutes. I'll take that. The average heart rate was 145. So I was very pleased with that. And that, maybe kind of wanted it a little bit lower, but Chatgpt was happy with that. And how it was, and how, disciplined I was with my structure of it. As I was running in the first half of it, I kind of wanted to try and keep within near, say, 135, 138 beats per minute. Then on the second half of it, of the run, the second hour, 145. And that, so to finish on 145 beats per minute, I was very happy with that. Obviously, like I say, the hills, they were capped at 155, and there was times when I was going up smaller hills that I was checking and keeping an eye on the heart rate, and sometimes it went out to 153 or whatever, but I didn't need to kind of not panic, but stop and get the heart rate down. So then as you go over the hill or whatever, you just relax the effort, and then just try and keep the heart rate to drop anyway. So it was a very different run that I've done outside. I felt very controlled, and I wasn't even a bit worried that I wasn't going to manage to keep the heart rate down or whatever. But I finished 2 hours 19 minutes, and I know it's not a quick half marathon time, and I run quicker, but I could do more. It wasn't just surviving the run. I did a run on the 26th of December at the half marathon course, and I felt that I was, it felt a lot harder than it should have been. And this run, I wasn't surviving it. It was controlled, and it was just running nicely and that. So I was really pleased with that. So yeah, just going on to the ChatGPT part of the data that it was bringing back to me. It says you averaged 145 across 219 minutes, 2 hours 19 minutes outdoors. That's discipline, especially from my old way of pacing myself and all that lot. When I hit the 155 beats per minute, I stopped, back down to 140, run again. Now, total walk time was 1 hour 49 seconds. So I'll take that. You mean it's just about controlling it and all of that lot. So with the drift analysis that it can pick up with, when you show it your heart rate graph, and that, you mean in the early part of the run it was 135 to 142, so slightly higher than what I was hoping. But then you got to remember there is a big hill at the beginning, like I said. The middle section 142 to 148 beats per minute, and then the late part of the run 148 to 152, with some spikes going because of the terrain. The Bergen City Marathon has some kind of very steep inclines, both up and down. So there was a time when I come down one and my quads were getting a really good workout on there, and when you're hitting 19 kilometers and that, or again later on when you're going to be hitting say 40 kilometers, that's quite painful, and that's kind of really done me in the past. I'm not going to deny. That's a harsh part of the course. And that, so breathing was stable, 33 beats average, or 33 breaths per minute average. Maximum was 40, but I was kind of getting ready for the hills and all that lot. So I'm really kind of happy with that, and it's ChatGPT's happy. And that, it's saying that I'm building the capacity without draining the system. So, it was a base run. It is aerobic. There's no marathon segments in that. We progress a little bit more next week, but it has said from kind of week 10. So, giving me like 6 weeks of marathon progressiveness in the long runs, which is a Lee Granthams style thing, which is great, and I really see the benefits in that. So I'm kind of really happy with how all of that. And yeah, that was Sunday. It was just absolute great effort. I really enjoyed that. So like I said in the first part of the video, we'll quickly recap Friday. Friday and Saturday. First one is an easy run. Second one is a first one is a recovery run. The second one is an easy run as well. So, at the moment it's generally all easy apart from that Wednesday specific interval session. So Friday was 50 minutes, averaged 131 beats per minute, 6.8k, and it was 7.21 minutes per kilometer. Like I said, very slow. Very, very slow for me. I did 40 minutes at speed 8.2 on the treadmill. Always do 10 minutes on speed 8 just to kind of settle in and see how I go. And normally my heart rate is so low I can then push on. And because I'm using parameters of what Chatgpt lets me. And my heart rate's got to be under this before I can then progress onto that. So we'll see. And how that run goes. And that's generally what we do. So Saturday again, that was for an hour, and again 131 beats per minute, so a nice kind of calm run for me, stable. I did 10 minutes speed 8 as normal, and then I did jump it up to 8.3 because my heart rate was all good and low, and I could just crack on. I think I was actually allowed to have 135 beats per minute average, and I got 131, so really, really pleased with that. 8.25 kilometers, again, slow pace, 7 minutes per, 16 per kilometer. These runs aren't, they're there just to get the mileage and not overexert the body and then crash on my long runs, this kind of gets mileage in my legs, but it also lets me be fresh enough to have these long runs and that. So, the bread and butter of the marathon training is just really slow, boring mileage. And this is the first training block I've done when I've really kind of tuned in with the slowness. There's times I'm running outside and on my last blocks thinking this is slow, I'm doing well. But I was too fast. And that, so this is the first one I'm really kind of slowing it down and really going, wow, this is what I should be doing. And then later on, these slower runs do get quicker anyway because your body adapts to being able to do it. So absolutely perfect. So nice kind of end of the week of the sessions, basically, as we grew, we built up from it. A recovery run, easy run, long easy run, and that. So I look forward to getting the next blocks in a couple of weeks' time, where I start getting the easy run, or the recovery run, the easy run, and then a progressive kind of marathon run, long run in there. So really happy with that. Fueled it as well as kind of how I would be to a point. I did gel every 45 minutes. So I took 3 gels today, and then I took 2 salt sticks, 1 hour and 1 hour 50-ish. And I'm kind of trying to get into a set pattern of drinking water every 20 minutes, because I'm feeling that should be roughly where my water stations will be. So even on my easy long runs, I'm taking on the treadmill and recovery runs, if it's over 20 minutes, which it is obviously, I take a sip of water or something at 20 minutes just to get used to just every 20 minutes. It's gonna make things just a routine, and as much as it can come across boring, these runs are boring sometimes, it's going to get that structure, and if in that structure we can then carry it on through, and that into race day and all that lot. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm really happy with the progress of what's happening. Just jumping onto Strava and showing me my weekly distance for the week. Nice little jump up this week. I think going outside kind of helps as well. Yes, I've run that little bit quicker than what the treadmill would do, I wouldn't have hit a half marathon today if I was doing it on the treadmill. So really happy to be outside, and I prefer running outside anyway. The treadmill has its pros, but it's also got its cons, and then running outside, it's just great. Especially nicer weather and that. But weekly kilometers this week, 54.02. So really happy with that. An increase again over the last 3 weeks, which is what we kind of want to see. Although with some of my structure of the weeks go, I don't see how that was really going to keep stepping up and up and up. But a nice base rate. We are still base building, and I know there's only kind of 8 weeks left now, and that, but 7 weeks if you think of next week. But the base is being set and just being calm and setting it correctly, and that, so then we can really have a strong foundation to push on through. And that's what I've noticed on this training block, that I'm actually doing that. I wasn't sure if it was working, but I see today, it's not the quickest half marathon, and I know that, but just feeling fresh still. My legs felt he's had a workout, don't get me wrong, but I could do more, and that is the art of it. I'm not draining myself and that, but we're ready to go again. Tomorrow I'll be running. It's just an easy recovery run tomorrow, but it's still able to have the strength to do that. I'm not out of the game for a couple of days or whatever. We are kind of building and building on fatigue legs and all that lot to then power, making us stronger and things like that. So great end to the week. Really enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. The video and that. If you can, please click like and subscribe. To the channel as well. It helps me. It's free. It's done. If you want to see some more of my kind of stats as I do my runs on the daily sessions and that, then find me on Instagram, Neil_dad_that_runs, and comment. The more I get interaction, it's great. I'm happy to kind of answer questions and things like that. So please get involved. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it, really? So hope you have a great rest of the weekend and a great next week, and hopefully I'll see you in the next week on the next couple of videos, or the next video and the rest as I do my route to Bergen City Marathon 2026. Okay, thanks very much. Goodbye.